Okay, so we've been talking about how Google Wave is really kind of a revolutionary update to email in general. It really helps groups communicate and track conversations, and it really kind of helps you work together as a group. It can also be used in classrooms for all sorts of reasons, but I'll go into one kind of demonstration for classroom use right now, and that would be using it as kind of your file upload manager, so students could submit their work to the Wave, and then of course the Wave gives other students the ability to look at that work and maybe add some feedback or even maybe grade it based on a rubric. So I went ahead and I started a wave here that says upload your files below. So for our example, I'm just going to do a simple like PowerPoint animation assignment. So over here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this window so we're a little bit bigger. I'm going to click at the bottom, and I'm going to pretend that I'm a student, and I want to upload an assignment. So I'm going to say, here it is. Let me know what you think. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and attach our file. Browse for it. Flipbook sample. Okay, so there's our file. It's Flipbook sample. I'm going to go ahead and do submit. And you see it's uploading my PowerPoint as we speak. Oh, there's our file, so it's all good there. If students wanted to look at this, or you did, we could just click on it and it would open up the PowerPoint animation. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of this. See if I hit done. Hopefully it won't crash. Hey, we're good. Okay. Now there's my file. Let's say that this student in particular wanted a little bit of feedback. So I'm just going to hit reply here. And I'm going to say, what do you think of my PowerPoint? Now, of course, other students could read this and reply in general, but let's say we had a rubric and they wanted to know a specific segment of that rubric. What we can do here is, let's bring up one that I had here before. It's form. Let's go to live form. Okay, so let's see how they did on creativity and originality. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this section right here, so creativity and originality, and oh, it exited me out of it, and I want to edit this. What do you think of my PowerPoint? Then I'm going to put creativity and originality, and then we have, I'll go ahead and use our rubric, and I'll take the top one. So 4 points displays a lot of originality and creative thought. So let's edit our thing here. And we're going to say 4 points. Displays a lot of originality, creative thought, while keeping in mind the task at hand, but is not afraid to experiment. So let's go ahead and use one of our extensions. So we'll use a yes, no, or maybe gadget, and we'll add that. And so now students have the option of saying, yes, it's worth the 4 points, no, or maybe, and then they could also reply with the answer. Now I could do that for multiple ones, like I could click after this and maybe I want to see how we did on another aspect of our rubric here, maybe presentation. So I can copy the presentation there, and I'll go ahead and paste it below. And we're just saying, did they get the 4 points? So I'll get rid of this part right here. And then of course I can add another yes, no, or maybe underneath. And so each student could tally and see how they were doing. And then they could get specific results by a student just replying to the thread. I'm going to go ahead and click done on this. Perhaps I wanted my whole rubric to show up in this form. So I'm just going to create a new one here. And I already have my PowerPoint animation rubric already set in here. It's just a Google form. We all know how to use those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my form data here. I'm going to go to form. I'm going to say embed form in a web page. And then it's going to give me this address right here. So I'm going to copy this. Copy. and then I close this out, and I'll go back to my Google Wave. And then I'm going to say, here is the whole rubric for you to evaluate my work. Okay, and now I want to embed that rubric. So I'm going to use one of the extensions called iframe. What it lets me do is it lets me insert a whole web page. So as I scroll down here, you'll see there's iframe. I can edit this address here, and I'm going to put in that embed tag that the Google form gave me. Now, right here it says iframe height. I'm going to go ahead and remove that and leave it blank. And I'm going to click view. Oh, there it is. And let's see, I'm going to click done here. Now I'm having a little problem here. You notice that I can't really scroll on this to see the whole form, which is definitely not good. So I'm going to go to edit. Error not found. Okay, so here's our sheet. And let's see what happens if we go right over here to width. And let's change width to 600 in our tag and leave that one blank. And we're going to do view. There we go. And now we have the full rubric. So sometimes you have to modify their code in order to get to work. But you see that the students now could go directly up to the file that was posted. They could click on it, and they could choose to open it or not. Here we go. Do I want to open the flipbook with PowerPoint? I'm going to say OK. Here's PowerPoint. Of course, I could run through it real fast, but you can just see it's a simple sunrise animation. The sun goes up, the sun sets, and it would meet the bare minimum requirements of the assignment, which is kind of interesting little animation. So then students could say, okay, I liked it. Do I think it was creative? Yes. Do I think the presentation, care, and product? I'll say yes. And then of course I could go down to this section and actually fill out the whole Google form, and that would go to the teacher. And we submit that way. So that is just one way to use Google Forms. Well, let's say I am a student and I just responded to that. What I can do is I can just reply right there and say, maybe great presentation. Great prez. I liked your animation. You could work on how smooth it is. And done. So you see, right here we have a whole system where a student can post their files, they can get instant feedback about certain aspects of it. You could embed a form where the students can see, you know, the exact type, and other students could also submit and find out, you know, how the project is evaluated as a whole. It's a great way to manage files. It's a great way to let kids share their work and see how they're assessed. And it's a nice centralized location. You could even do your comments and add a grade. For instance, at the bottom, I could probably reply, not found. So I could click right here and I could say, you know, great job. You earned, I don't know, 45 out of 50, which would be not too bad. So there you have it, a great way to use Google Wave in the classroom.